Hey guys, today we have a quick guide on how to complete a First Foothold quest given to you by Apollo in Arc Raiders. So, when I first got this quest, I thought that it was very daunting. I saw that there were 4 objectives that you had to complete in Blue Gate. All that I'd heard about Blue Gate as a new player was that there was a lot of PvP and that there were a lot of dangerous arcs. However, this quest actually isn't as bad as it may seem. If you know where to go for the 4 objectives, you can actually get it done in one raid. So this guide is going to show you where to go and the best strategy in order to get through this quest. Now, as I mentioned before, in order to complete this quest, we have to visit 4 locations in Blue Gate. So the 4 locations that we have to visit are the Ridgeline, which you'll see on the map right here. You also have to go to the Olive Grove. You'll have to go to the Data Vault, specifically the church above the Data Vault, and you'll have to go to the Trapper's Glade. Now, you don't have to go to them in this order. You'll see I actually go to them in a way different order. And there are some tips that I would recommend depending on your skill level. If you are a new player, I would recommend using a free loadout. However, if you are more advanced, you can use a loadout that has adrenaline, which will help you get around the map faster. Now, when we spawned in, I originally was looking at where to go in Olive Grove, and I got lost, so I ended up in this little area right here. However, I ended up going east. I was supposed to go west, and actually I spawned in right next to where we needed to go in Olive Grove. So just know that if you do spawn in Olive Grove, you are possibly right next to the objective, as this building right here that I'm walking by right now was actually the building that I spawned into during this raid. So once you go here, you're going to go to this yellow terminal, you're going to hit the button, and 25% of your quest is already complete. Now, one tip that I recommend is going either clockwise or counterclockwise. I chose to go clockwise, so for us, that would mean going to Trapper's Glade. Now, it is a little bit of a walk, however, if you did bring your own loadout and have adrenaline shots, then you will get over there a lot quicker. As you can see right here, we're about 100 meters away. I personally used the broken down chapel to my right as a landmark, and you'll also see that there's another building here that's just its foundation. You can use these to get your bearings, and then once you get to the broken building with no walls, the area that we're supposed to go is just southeast. You'll see here I get a little lost and confused, however, eventually I find where we're supposed to go. So right here is the building that we're supposed to be. A wasp spotted me, so I had to take care of it real quick. However, once you get rid of all the enemies in the area, this is where you're supposed to be. Now there is some lootable areas below the actual objective itself. We have to get on top of the roof. However, there are some drawers that you can search. Once you're done, you can get on that dresser, and then there's a node that says nail down roof. And once you do that, you've completed 50% of the quest. Now, our next location that we're going to go is just north of the data vault to this church. You can actually see the church on the map. It's very distinguishable. It's the only building that's north of the data vault, so you're actually able to put your marker right on top of it. Once you get there, you're going to go back to this rock right here and jump onto the roof. Now, there is a searchable container here. I went ahead and breached it and searched it just so that I could get the extra XP for the merit system at the end of this game in order to get more merits for the event. However, you don't really need to do this. There was only some metal in there, so it's not really worth it. However, sometimes there is a lootable thing in this tower as well, but the main goal of reason why we are here is to rotate this satellite dish. So once you do that, you're 75% done. Now we're on our next and final location. We're going to go right near the E in Ridgeline. If you actually put your marker on the E, you'll get exactly to where you need to go. Now, I had a little misfortunate event with this arc right here. I was trying to escape it, and then disaster struck. While I made a stupid mistake and wasn't able to complete this in one run, it was still possible to have completed it in that run, as the extraction point that I would have left in only had 8 to 7 minutes left, and I would have made it in time after getting this ridgeline location. However, here's where we need to be. If you put your cursor right on the E in ridgeline, as I said before, you'll get to this area right here. All you have to do is stabilize the deck, and then the mission is complete. You completed the quest, and this extraction area is open for you to extract very close to ridgeline. And depending on where you actually end up finishing this quest, I think all of them pretty much have close extraction points to them. So just keep that in mind. And if you do have a Raider hatch key, if you're far enough in the game and you have a few Raider hatch keys to spare, it might not be a bad idea to bring some in your pocket while you are bringing in your own loadout to go do this. Now, all we have to do is go to Apollo and claim the quest. So if this guide was helpful, let me know in the comments. If there's anything I can improve on, let me know in the comments as well. And I hope to see you in another video. Take care, guys.